Everyone has been talking about what the future of Xbox is going to look like, but what if I told you the future of Xbox has been lurking in the background of my videos for the past several weeks? What is up, y'all? I'm Ray, and this is my channel, Xbox Ready, where we get on and we talk about Xbox stuff. The latest news, rumors, games, accessories, pretty much anything I want to talk about as long as it's about Xbox in some way. There's been so much speculation about the future of Xbox, both good and bad, ranging from Xbox is dead, they're cooked, there's no bouncing back for Xbox to no, they are really in a position to introduce some major changes in the gaming industry. Now, currently the belief is that Microsoft is positioning the next-gen Xbox lineup to be more PC-like than the consoles we've come to know over the past couple of years, like the Series X and S. If that sounds familiar, yeah, Valve kind of beat Microsoft to the punch by introducing the Steam machine just the other day. Here's the thing though, the Steam machine is not going to be a true next-gen console. The general consensus is that it's going to be as powerful as a Series X or a PlayStation 5. So while everyone is super quick to declare that Xbox is dead in the wake of Valve's announcement, I still think they have an opportunity here. They can still offer the flexibility and ease of use that a console like the Steam machine would, or what Project Magnus is sounding like it's going to be, while also delivering on true next-gen performance. And all of that starts here. This video is brought to you by ExpressVPN. You see, at least here in the US, everything that you do online, all of your data, that can legally be sold to people so they can further go and personalize your algorithm and all this other crazy stuff. With ExpressVPN, with a click of a button, you can encrypt your connection to make sure that all of that is masked. And the same goes for your online privacy. I know y'all think you're slick. You'll open up incognito mode on whatever browser that you're on. You are a sitting duck, especially on public networks, for anyone trying to get at your credit card information or passwords. With ExpressVPN encrypting your connection, you won't have to worry about that. As for my personal favorite reason for having ExpressVPN, accessing geolock content. I was scrolling through Instagram the other day and I saw this post about the new Chainsaw Man movie earning more money in its theatrical run than Dragon Ball Super Broly. And I was like, whoa, that's actually crazy. I kind of want to watch Dragon Ball Super Broly now, except it's not on Netflix. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to have to go stream it somewhere else or sign up for another service. So I just used ExpressVPN to change my location to Japan, and suddenly it was in my Netflix library. Find out how you can get up to 4 extra months by scanning the QR code on screen. You can click the link in the description box below, or you can go to expressvpn.com/xboxready. Thanks again to ExpressVPN for sponsoring this video. So actually, from the moment that I pick this up and turn it on, you are looking at the future of Xbox. And no, I'm not saying that every Xbox console that comes out is going to be a handheld. If that earlier announcement about the AMD partnership that they got going on is anything to go off of, it's not only going to include handhelds, but lots of other devices powered by those AMD chips. No, what I'm talking about specifically is what's on this handheld, the Xbox full screen experience. It's not quite a SteamOS-like thing. It is basically the Xbox PC app, but they've made it easier for you to navigate with a controller, and they cut down on some extra Windows BS. Not all of it, but some, so you have more resources to power your games. All this talk about being able to access multiple libraries through your Xbox app, that's already here in this full screen experience. They call it the aggregate gaming library. So yeah, I can launch games from Steam or any other launchers, and it's actually all unified in my Xbox library. You see the little icon right there to know which games are from Steam and which ones are through the Xbox launcher. Obviously, one of the biggest complaints for this thing is the fact that it can't play Xbox games natively, Xbox console games. They have to be the PC versions of those games. I don't think that's going to be the case with Project Magnus and any new Xbox hardware that we see Microsoft produce, especially in wake of the announcement from Valve and the Steam machine. They're not just going to be able to play games that are supported by Linux or through SteamOS. No, they'll be able to run a layer of Proton, so you'll be able to play your Windows games as well. It would be absolutely wild if Xbox couldn't figure something out, but with their Xbox console games for any new future devices. I feel like now that Steam has thrown the gauntlet down, they're for sure going to figure it out. They were going to figure it out before, but now they're for sure going to figure out that back backwards compatibility. Now with the Xbox Ally X and the full screen experience, it's kind of a work in progress. And while what we have is pretty damn good right now, what we're gonna get in 2026 and beyond sounds really cool. They just put out a roadmap detailing what features we can expect to make their way on over to the Xbox Ally handhelds and the full screen experience in 2026. And Windows Central even goes a step further in saying all of these things that they're going to add in 2026 to the Xbox Ally handhelds, these are definitely things that are going to pop up in any next-gen Xbox hardware, including Project Magnus. So let's take a look. Number one is advanced shader delivery. Now, one of the original goals for the Xbox Ally X, or at least the thing that they kept telling us in the presentations for media and creators, is that they wanted to cut down on the time it took from you picking up this device and getting yourself into a game. The whole point of buying a gaming handheld. One of the obstacles in the way of this, though, is sometimes you boot up a game on this thing, and unlike on a console, when there's some loading screens, some title cards that you can skip through, on the Xbox Ally and any PC in general, there's an extra step. They gotta compile shaders, and sometimes this can take a long ass time, which is a major turnoff when you're coming home from work and you're like, can't wait to lay in bed, cozy on up to my Xbox Ally X and play some games, and oh damn, I gotta wait for updates, I gotta wait for these shaders to compile. Crap. Obviously this is because PC games, they gotta tailor to a lot of different devices and hardware. They don't have a target like a Series X or a PlayStation 5 when you're making console games. So they gotta generate shaders for things like shadows, lighting, all sorts of other stuff right on the spot depending on what device you're using. With advanced shader delivery, it should cut down on that time and get you in the game much faster. So instead of seeing this long ass loading bar and waiting for it just to get you to the title screen, all those shaders are going to be preloaded, pre-compiled, and you'll be able to start playing much quicker. They're saying this is going to be shipped via the Microsoft Store on select titles like Gears of War Reloaded. I assume that means first-party games from Xbox are going to support this. I'm worried a little bit that this is going to be one of those features like Xbox Play Anywhere that's really awesome for the first-party stuff, but that ends up being a slog for third-party developers to support. And the fact that this is specific to titles shipping via the Microsoft Store, does that mean that we're still going to have to compile shaders through any games that we launch through Steam? I'm not sure. Number two is automatic super resolution. And unfortunately, this is something that's only going to be available on the more expensive Xbox Ally X, not the base Xbox Ally, the white one. Stay with me now. I know these names can get confusing, but basically this is the first iteration of Microsoft's AI upscaling tech. This will allow you to run games at lower resolution, but give you the frame rate, some frame rate that you would expect from an $1,000 plus console. So even if a game runs like dog crap on the Xbox Ally X, with automatic super resolution, it could boost that to make it actually really cool. Now again, this is only going to be on the Xbox Ally X because this is the only console that has an NPU that can handle a lot of this AI stuff. When it comes to the next Xbox consoles, there's been a lot of talk about how they're probably going to be on the more expensive side. I would imagine that this AI tech, this NPU, is going to make its way into Project Magnus. Maybe they come out with a lesser powered console, like with the Xbox Ally, do a 2 SKU lineup like they've done the past few generations, but automatic super resolution, if it's going to be in the next Xbox console, like Jez Corden is saying in this Windows Central article, we're going to be paying for it, absolutely. Number three, and I don't even know this sounds kind of cool from a content creator perspective, but AI-powered game capture and DVR. Apparently this thing is going to be able to analyze moments in your gameplay that are cool or funny or epic, maybe make like some sort of highlight reel for you. That would be pretty cool for socials and again, content for me. I could just take that and upload it on Instagram or put it on a YouTube short. But AI-powered DVR game capture, that's pretty low on my priority list. The next point I'm much more excited for, because a lot of people look at the Xbox Ally handhelds and view them as just that. They're handhelds, and oh, I don't use handhelds, I don't travel a lot, I only play on my couch or at my monitor, what's the point? I feel like a lot of people can forget that you can dock these things to a TV or a monitor and use it like you would a mini PC or a console, like you're gonna be able to use the Steam machine. And while yeah, you can do that, there are some technical things, technical blips, some inconveniences that at least that I've experienced when I try to do that. In the early days of me having this thing, if I hooked up my Xbox Ally to my monitor and it wasn't already unlocked, like I didn't already put my pin in, I was pretty much screwed because I wouldn't be able to use the touchscreen. I wouldn't be able to use the onboarding controls. I needed to put a freaking keyboard and plug it in and enter my pin that way. And then I was able to navigate using the controller. I don't know if they fixed that because when I do it now, all I need to do is press a button and it puts me back into my desktop, into the full screen experience. But there are some other things happening here too. Like I'm trying to pair this controller and it pops up like, oh, you got a Bluetooth controller. And I use the onboard controls to try to navigate on over and connect it automatically. But I can't. I would have to use the touchscreen and hit connect physically on the thing. But since it's docked, I can't. Just little things like that that they need to figure out, because it has to be, especially with the Steam machine looming on the horizon, a true plug and play experience, especially if you're still going to try to retain that console crowd. And then when I unplug this thing from my HDMI and I try to play back on the regular screen, it's not in the right aspect ratio. I have to tinker with it a little bit. This next one you won't care about if all you do is play on a console or a straight PC. This will only apply to you if you use the full complement of the Xbox ecosystem, jumping around from cloud to console to PC. But in 2026, there's going to be a way to finally know which cloud save that you're working with, whether it was uploaded from your console or from your PC. This is going to go a long way in alleviating some issues that I've been having with games syncing through the cloud specifically. Sometimes I just give up entirely because I'm like, I don't care. I don't need the last play session. I'll start back even earlier than that. Just get me in the game. Because if you're too hasty with it, if you turn off your Xbox or you turn off your PC or exit out of your game too quickly, then some issues can arise from sending your data to the cloud. I get it, but hopefully this will allow for a smoother experience, especially as they enter into this future where they fully expect people to take advantage of all the different facets of their gaming ecosystem. And finally, you're going to be able to expand your Xbox Ally storage with a micro SD card. Apparently, I haven't tried it, but apparently it's not the best right now. And while the Xbox Ally X has a full terabyte of storage for you to play games, we can always use a bit more space, especially because these modern games hog up so much storage. Overall, I think this is really encouraging. All features that I hope make it into the future Xbox. I like this little task manager switcher thing especially, but there are some times where I'm like, damn, like this thing is kind of slow, kind of sluggish. There are times when I go to navigate it using the controller and I'm not able to, so I have to touch screen and like wake it up a little bit, if that makes sense. Outside of that, there are improvements that Xbox is making in other parts of their gaming division that I'm starting to see like the fruits of on the Xbox Ally X, like this footage of me playing Cyberpunk. Yes, I'm using cloud streaming to play it because that's where all my data is, but because they added in those improvements to cloud gaming, especially with this game specifically, it looks a lot better with that improved bitrate. This is not a 1440p screen, at least on the handheld, but when I put it on my monitor, I can definitely see, okay, this is close to 1440p resolution, and the 60 frames per second is a lot better and much more improved than those old cloud streams. Other than that, I would like to see Microsoft go harder with Xbox Play Anywhere. It seems that they're poised to do that with these updates that they're implementing for their game development kit. And this is a little bit trickier, but I'd like to see more games support cross-platform saves. Some games support this, but a ton of others don't, especially from Xbox to Steam. Like with Cyberpunk, the Steam version of the game supports cross-save with Xbox. So if I ever wanted to buy Cyberpunk through Steam and play it natively on my Xbox Ally X, I would be able to transfer all of the stuff that I've accumulated from my time playing on Xbox and put it on the Steam version. But a lot of that seems to be dependent on games having like a separate account and launcher. Well, I don't know if you can do this with Baldur's Gate 3 because they do have, like, they make you sign up for a Larian account. I'm wondering if I can upload my Steam saves to the cloud there, transfer them over to Xbox. I'm not quite sure I can do that, but more games need to support that. That might be a double-edged sword for Xbox, considering, well, Steam is most likely going to be on the next Xbox. So I guess there's nothing stopping people from buying Steam games and then dumping their save files into there and just completely abandoning the Microsoft Store, I guess the same argument can be made for Steam in the reverse. But I'm trying to think of it less as a console war and less of like who's gonna win and more like what would be cooler for gamers and something like that. More cross-save, more cross-progression, more cross-platform play. That's cool. That's always cool. The one thing that I'm not seeing on this roadmap that I really want to see is some sort of equivalent to quick resume that we have on the Xbox Series X and S. This is one of the most underrated features. It has been silently spoiling me for the past 4 years at this point. Being able to quit a game or go on over to another application or another game, and when I go back to that original game, just pick right back up where I left off. Currently, this exact thing, quick resume, doesn't exist on PC gaming. It was developed specifically for the architecture of the Xbox Series X and S. And while the team working on the full screen experience and on the Xbox Ally X, they've said, yeah, we're trying different things. We're working towards a solution that could be equivalent to quick resume. There's no guarantee that it's going to be on either the Xbox Ally X or any new Xboxes in the future, which is a damn shame. Because again, this is like the best thing that's come out of this entire generation. Let's be honest, a lot of people wrote off these Xbox Ally handhelds. Oh, they're too expensive. Who's going to buy it? It's just a handheld gaming PC. It doesn't even play Xbox games natively. But apparently over at Asus during a recent earnings call, they were like, damn, people really want these things. They like them. We were not prepared for how badly people were going to want these things. And because of that, they're actually ramping up production to fill that demand for the Xbox Ally handhelds. So as we're looking into this thing, we are very much looking at the future Xbox experience, not what we've become accustomed to on the Xbox Series X with those big ass tiles having all these ads. No, this is what you should expect from Project Magnus and beyond. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for joining us for another edition of Xbox Ready. If you made it this far into the video, consider subscribing. Thanks for taking the time to take a peek into Xbox's future with me, and we'll see you in the next one.